Good morning. Hey now, PASW staff, clients, friends joining us. Welcome to Thursday's class. We're pretty much through the week and we've learned a lot. We've looked at a lot of people. We've done a lot of good work. Tomorrow's film scoring results for Back to the Future. That's going to be great. I'm very, very excited to share that with you tomorrow. We looked at Marni Nixon on Tuesday, the great singer that dubbed all of those actresses. And then we got sexy with the tango and Astor Piazzolla's music. So I kind of recap just because in case you missed out on classes, they're always up and you can always go back and take a look at them. So that's one of the reasons why I do that. And it also kills some time too. Now I'm teasing. Today we're going to be talking about a subject and a person I never thought I would ever really talk about, much less do a class about. But having read in different books over the last few weeks and months, it always kind of came back to me. I was like, boy, this guy really had an amazing life, a rags to riches life. I mean, literally was so poor and then ended up reinventing, or rather inventing, something in Hollywood and in the world that is still being used today. And I just thought it would be really fun to share his story a little bit. Today we're going to be talking about the makeup artist Max Factor. Max Factor, if the first time I saw him was at the end of the I Love Lucy episodes. His name would always come up, and as a kid, I just, for some reason, it's a good name. I think it's a little bit better than Maximilian Factor Watzowitz, a little catchier. But he was a visionary makeup artist, wig maker, and inventor, really. And he was known for creating the signature looks of the era's most famous icons, the beauties, the males too, but mostly the females. The Ava Gardner and Marlene Dietrich and Jean Harlow. Their look is because of him, really. And he believed that glamour should be within reach of all women. So he was a ladies' man. I mean, in a different way, in a way that he thought if glamour is available, glamour should be used and makeup should be used. He coined the term makeup. It wasn't called makeup before. It was cosmetics. And makeup was kind of attributed to kind of just the kind of raunchy theater thing. But he, yes, I'm going to say it again, elevated and made it something. He coined the phrase makeup. So, this guy was poor. He came from Poland, 1877, 10 kids. He was too poor to read and write, but he did help work at the Russian Opera and get a lot of experience when he was, even at the age of 9, he was apprenticed to a wig maker in Poland. And he also worked on cosmetics for Russian nobility. So he kind of had a cool job, but he was a slave there, he said. And he was kind of used as a slave to make royalty look great with wigs and makeup and all this stuff. But he wanted to get out of there. Like many people, America was a place for opportunity. And so 1908 comes to the city you love, Lloyd loves, John loves, I love, Los Angeles. And opens up his own little makeup place, barbershop, makeup, and in South Central actually. There's just a neighborhood there now, but over 100 years ago, I guess there was maybe a little village or something, but South Central, and then he kind of opens it up, and again, perfect timing and luck. Meets Charlie Chaplin, Fatty Arbuckle, people in the movie business. And this is very early, we're not at the feature film length yet. People are making reels and gags right now. And he starts kind of making a name for himself because he realizes this is what I mean by good timing. This is when people need a different kind of makeup. So we've looked at we looked at the taboo of being an actor on film. That was very lowbrow. You did theater. But then when movies became a little bit more cooler, for lack of a better word, people were like, okay, maybe this thing is a legitimate business we can be in. And they didn't have the makeup. They had makeup for the stage. But this kind of makeup for the stage this was fine because the audience was way away from the seats. But now that you have the camera and the close-up or whatever, the makeup would crack, and it would make their faces look clownish, and you could see all of the imperfections. And we just can't have any of this. So he invents something called flexible grease paint. This is his genius to Hollywood, and also, I say the world because the whole world looks at Hollywood. They still look at Hollywood. TMZ, you wouldn't have that. We're always looking at Hollywood, for better or worse. And that's where people sometimes get their influences. So he did change the world in that way. So with flexible grease paint, he was able to make the actors look more like human beings on the camera. So again, they needed him, and it was great timing for him to. And it took a lot of work. Hours and hours of in the back of his studio. And he had a few different businesses after South Central. He moved to downtown and Hill Street. And he worked so hard on his craft to get what the actors needed on screen. Not just it started with the makeup, but then also with the hair and with wigs. And with Cecil B. DeMille's Squaw Man, they needed Indians. And so he would actually use human hair wigs. And that would, despite it being racist, that solved a lot of problems for, this guy actually knows wigs too. Studios wanted to just buy him out and have him work full time. He was smart. He said, no, you're going to rent them out from me, and I'm going to sell to all the different studios, but I'll only work for myself. And made him one of the first multimillionaires in Hollywood. So he becomes so rich, he finally opens up in 1935. This is just a few years before he dies. The 4-story Art Deco building that's still there, actually. It's a Hollywood museum, which I've never been to, and I was reading about it. Maybe we should go. And it's at 1660 North Highland, and that whole buildings is used for his makeup and his products, and there were different rooms that you could go in, and they had the lighting already there for you to try out the products. There's so many other little things, makeup inventions that he came out with. He was the beginner. He started this whole thing and made everybody glamorous, from Jean Harlow's platinum hairstyle to Clara Bow's bob to Lucille Ball's false eyelashes and her red curls. And made it a family business. His son came in and quickly changed his name to Max Factor Jr., and the business is still owned by the Max Factor family. So I just thought it was interesting to see this. So he dies in 1938, but he wins an Oscar in 1929 for Best Makeup. And I just thought it's interesting to see the development of cinema. We've talked about the cameras and the directors and the people that were responsible in the early 20th century of movie making. Well, so much of this is how people look, obviously. So he was able to invent something for people to look great. And those starlets, no doubt, they look so beautiful. So there's a little history on Max Factor and his makeup business. Hope you enjoyed it. Tomorrow's Back to the Future, so it's going to be a lot of fun. So I miss you and I love you, and thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.